Hello everyone. So a few days ago, I made a video about Claude Code, how you guys can install it, use it in your IDE and terminal, and also make some cool apps, some cool projects, and also use it as a research tool. The cool thing about Claude is it lives in your IDE, or you can just directly use it in the terminal, and it's an agentic AI model which can help you in a lot of different ways. But one problem with Claude Code is it's a bit expensive. Its cheapest subscription is $20 a month, and then you can go up to $200 a month, which gets a bit expensive because it's a monthly subscription, not based on the API use. So let's say someday you use more, someday you use less, you still get charged the same amount of money. And if you use more, you can run out of credit as well. Now, a good thing I found that we can use with Claude Code is Kimi 2. Now, Kimi 2 is not something very new. It was released a few months ago by Moonshot. It's a agentic AI model similar to Claude Code. So today what I'm going to show you is how you can use the Kimi 2 model with Claude Code IDE, the Claude Codes, not the IDE, the Claude Code CLI, and you can make use of it because the good thing about Kimi is when we check right here, the first thing is it's open source. Open source projects are always cheaper than the closed source project. And it can, and in some areas, if we look at these benchmarks, it does perform better than Claude Code. And since it's open source, you don't have to pay the monthly subscription. All you have to do is just pay the credit. You just need to purchase a credit and you can use the API key in Claude Code that I will show you in a few more minutes. I'll leave that link for this article in the description. You guys can go ahead and review it and check the benchmarks. I'm not going to go ahead and explain all these because I don't want to make this video too long and boring as well. Now, to get started, first thing you have to do is you have to go to this website, platform.moonshot.ai. This is the website you're going to go to get your Kimi 2 API key. Once you log into the website, you can just sign up or log in with Google. And once you're successfully logged in, it will bring you to this console. And in this console, the first thing you have to do is go to the API key section. Now in this section, we're gonna go ahead and generate an API key that we will use in Claude Code. I already have one generated, but for this video, I'll go ahead and create a new one that I'll delete later. So even if you view it, it's not gonna be usable for you guys. So I'm gonna name it Claude Demo, and then I'm just gonna use the default project. And there you go. So it gave me the API key. Make sure before you close this window, you do copy this key. Otherwise, you will not be able to access it later. Even if you click OK and you don't see it anymore, just delete the key and generate a new one and you should be good. Now, since we have the key, it's not usable. Yes, we can add it in our Claude. We can try to use it, but it's not going to work because to make it work, we need some credit. And I will recommend you adding 10 to 20 bucks based on how much you're planning to use it. But I have added $10 and they gave me a $5 voucher. I still have $15. I haven't used it too much because I've been busy in the last few weeks, but I did use it for a very small project and it worked great. It didn't use the same amount of credit it used to use on Claude. So it's better in that sense, and also it can write cleaner code than Claude sometimes. So you can see here I have used it and I only consumed this much amount of money. I still have a lot of money left, and since it's not a monthly subscription, you can use it anytime you want. You don't have to pay it every month. This is what I like and a lot of people will love too. Now, to use this key, once you have recharged, once you have added the credit in your account, you can just copy the key and you can go to any of your terminal, or I'm just going to show you in VS Code. Now, these are two commands that you will be using to use that key. Now, this first command, it set the API URL provided by Moonshot. That set the URL to point to use the API key. And the second one is where we will paste the API key that we copied from there. Make sure your key start from SK, otherwise it's not gonna work if it's something else. I'm pretty sure you'll copy the correct key. Now to use it, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy the first two commands. I'll paste it in my terminal and I will run these. Once you hit enter, then you can go ahead and start using Claude. When you run Claude, it will tell you that there is a different API key that it detected. You can just say yes to use that API key and yes, proceed. What you will see here, something different in Claude Code is it set the API key to our SK, the API key that we generated from our Moonshot AI, and then it set the base URL that we did set there. So now our key is set, we can start using our Moonshot API key, the Kimi 2 model in our Claude Code. I'll send it a hi and it will go ahead and answer me pretty quick. Now, one problem with this is if I go ahead and open a new terminal and I type in Claude to use our Claude Kimi 2, whatever, it's gonna go back to the Claude API key, which we don't want because every time you will have to run these commands in your terminal, it's a bit frustrating. So what I'm gonna show you now is how you can set it permanently. And to do that, if you have a Mac, you have to run this zshrc command, and if you have a Linux, you have to use the bash command because Apple changed their terminal to zsh a few years ago. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and run this zshrc if you have a Mac and bashrc if you have a Linux. I'm just going to open it in VS Code so I can show you the complete file. Here you go. It opened the file for me. Now we're gonna set something in this file. I'll paste these commands in the description as well, so you guys can go ahead and copy this. I'll copy the API key. I will paste it here. And this is something we will be setting in our zshrc file. I'll just copy and paste here. So what's going on here, this is the name of the new command. You will call, you can actually call it anything you want. You don't have to specifically call it Kimi, but this is the name you will use to call it, just like you call Claude. The two export lines set the base URL and your Kimi API key, and the Claude $@ run Claude Code and pass through any extra arguments you give it. Once we have it pasted, I'm going to save this file. I'll close it. I will go ahead and open a new terminal, and once I type Kimi, it will go ahead and open Claude Code with the Kimi API and the URL that we set there. It's not just gonna work once. You can open it in any of your terminal. You can open it anytime because it's set as a variable. So any other folder you go to, you can just type in Kimi and it's gonna load Claude Code with the Kimi API key and the URL. We can tell, hi, how are you? Please create a folder name directory 2 on my desktop. We'll go ahead and process this command, and I'm pretty sure it's going to create a folder for us. It's asking for permission. We'll say yes, I allow that change, and done. Directory 2 is done. We can go to a new window. We can go to our desktop. We can list it, and there you go. We have our directory 2 right there. So that's how you guys can go ahead and use Kimi 2 in your Claude Code and have fun. You can use it a lot cheaper because it's open source. Build some cool projects and comment down if you need anything specific or if you need to learn anything cool about AI or cloud. Thank you.